Alright, and welcome back to Aaron's Digital Garage. I was so excited about this that I decided to make a short video to show you something I've been working on this week. It's not actually done. There's actually a few things that I'm going to change about it, even right after I made this video. I wanted to create a tool set to carry in my car. It gets after exactly what the car needs. Each of my cars needs a purse, is what I'm saying. I think the basis for really any toolkit is a socket set, but sockets have a tendency to get lost if there isn't a specific place to put them in my garage. I needed a socket carrier for the car. Now I know what you're thinking, you can go buy a cheap set, throw that in your car and be done with it, but I don't want it to take up a ton of space, and most importantly, I don't need SAE and metric, I just need metric. So what did I do? I went out and bought a set of metric shallow and deep walled sockets so I can keep it and carry it in my Datsun. But I needed something thin and doesn't take up a whole bunch of space, so I laser cut something out of wood to test it out, but while it works fine, it doesn't look very nice. It's got a lot of hard edges, and I have serious doubts about the hinge for the lid and the glue holding up long term. Enter this somewhat useless 3D modeling experiment. Here's how I got to where I was. Step 1. Measure the size of the sockets and create a pattern of those circles. I made each oversized by about 0.3 millimeters or about 0.1 inches. Then I modeled the height to get a feel for what I needed to make. Once I got done with that, I added a base for the sockets to slide into, and then the midway holder for those sockets. Alright, then I added the outside of the overall box, and I took that about 1 millimeter above the top of the deep walled sockets. Then I was like, dang, I need a top for this box. So, top of the box for you. Somewhat subtle, this was the reinforcements to ensure that the hinge would work. So I went ahead and added an arch. If I were going to do this again, I would have just created a circle here instead of an arch, because I ended up adding additional reinforcements along the back of the box as well. A quick break from a word from our sponsor, me. I have little to no idea what I'm doing here. The hinge was a pain in the patukas. I am not sure I did it right, and currently there is zero tolerance between parts, which is not going to work at all. Okay, back to the design. Aaron? Thanks, Aaron. Okay, now that I've done that, I create a hole for the hinge. This is a giant whopping 3.75 millimeter diameter hole. When I looked at the tolerance, or the distance between the edge of the hole as well as the outside of the box, I realized that would not hold up long term. So I went ahead and added a little bit of a beefy guy there via this hinge bump. I might try to remove this later and bring it back fully into the design, because I've thought about making both an SAE and a metric that can stack on top of each other, and this would detract from that capability. Okay, time for the fancy box cut, where this is where the hinge really starts getting confusing for me. I will say that I've gone back afterwards and actually brought back the top ledge right there to be closer to the hinge right after I made this video. So this is the split body, and now you see all of the different cut marks there that I'm going to use for the top hinge. I put lines perpendicular to the long axis. I only actually needed one of those lines, not two of those lines. And then underneath, I cut right underneath the circle portion of the hinge to give me the clearance around the hinges. Then I started joining those pieces back together. Here's where you see me go ahead and start combining those pieces back together, because they're in multiple different pieces. Alright, so once I got that done, I went ahead and gave all the edges some nice fillets, filet-o-fishes. I went ahead and rounded the edges a little bit. This makes the box look a little nicer, and also doesn't sort of scrape on your hands whenever you try to retrieve the box. I then changed the color because I like red, and I added the hinge so you can see how it opens and closes, and this I think will be really good as I move forward. Again, still have to print it, and I still have to add the little bar there at the back, but very happy with the way that it came out. Once again, I have zero idea whether this works. I still need to add the ratchet holder into this inside of the lid, a clasp of some sort, and finalize the bar to hold down the shallow walled sockets. I hope you enjoyed this little run through. If you liked the video and want to see more like this, let me know. I'm trying to grow the channel, but I'm also understanding that maybe this isn't the content that people originally subscribed for. I'm hoping that it's more helpful and more useful than just some random guy doing some car work. I'm about done with the 510, so I'll be doing more single project type videos versus long drawn out series of videos. Thanks for watching.